kind of want to jam to that. I don't know why. What's up, everybody? Music Therapy Labs here with Ron Gunner.
Hello, everybody.
Our friend to the right, or to your left, or right, or I'm to his right, but he's to my left. But on screen to me, he's to the right. So none of that makes sense. Janice, I hope I didn't just blow out your eardrums with that laughter there, the laugh track. What's up, Janice? Let's say hi to everyone in the chat. This is the Gear and Demo Show special edition. For the next month, we're going to be talking about this because it's going to take a while to build this thing, right, Ron?
Well,
thank you very much for
any more like this Switch. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the assist on the Switch, and then also some other switches and whatnot. So there's going to be a lot of things switched out on this guitar. And yes, I'm still hitting the mute button and coughing once in a while. I did make myself a little hot tea in my Yellow Submarine Beatles cup that I got at Vegas, by the way. And let me know if my mic is a little hot. Sounded a little hot there for a second. We were at the Vegas. Which one did we went to? We went to the Pyramid one. What's that called? The Sphinx? No, I forget the name of the Pyramid Hotel in Vegas. Who knows? The Lynx or I don't know, something like that. I'm terrible with things like that. You don't know, Ron, right? Have you been to Vegas?
Yeah, but years ago.
Remember, the one that's a pyramid shape and it's got the light shooting up out of the
big glass one.
Yeah, the glass one. Somebody knows. Somebody in the chat will know. No, it's not the Mirage, Johnny Bean. I think Johnny Bean's in a Mirage right now.
I always liked Circus.
Circus. We stayed there too. So we stayed at the Circus for 2 nights, and then we decided to stay one more night because we were having so much fun in Vegas. And we went to the Beatles Love Cirque du Soleil show, and that was amazing. Cough drop. Anyway, everybody, we did surpass the 1,000 mark finally. I think it was Rick Beato's me doing the video of Rick Beato that put us over the top, to be honest. I got so many comments in that video. It's like still every day I'm getting comments on that video. And some people think I'm Rick Beato. I don't know, they're like talking to me in the comments like, oh, congratulations, dude. And I'm like, dude, it's not me. I'm just shooting a video of him. But that did help. And just going to NAMM always helps. You get out there in front of gear and you're posting up a bunch of videos. I got several other 1,000 plus, I think a few other like 5,000 plus view videos from NAMM, which were cool. I still have some NAMM video to post up. Still have some more Nuno and other guitar greats that were there playing. Larry Mitchell, of course, finishing it off every year. He usually shoot. I think they do the last. I shot the video of the last show at the Marriott, and that's always him. And he closes it out. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Ian Nunes here. Let's say hi to all the people in chat. So we got Janice is saying hi to Ian. There he is. Look at that. Van Halen Van. Johnny's saying hi to Ian as well. And Ian is saying hi to Billy Ray. So Billy Ray's obviously here somewhere. Dwight Bailey, the hitman. Where is it? Is also here. Billy Ray, there he is. We got Mark Spurgeon. What's up, Mark? I see Mark out and about in a lot of the other chats that when I'm like working and lurking, he's out there often. There he is, the hitman himself, right on.
Hello, everybody.
The Luxor. Thank you, Mark Spurgeon, of course, knows. He's a hip dude. The Luxor. Yeah, I was at Luxor, the actual Luxor in Egypt a couple years ago. Pretty cool. My wife's bucket list, gotta go. Her brother-in-law and sister really wanted to go and see some of these sites too. So we combined our forces and our monies and went to a wonderful 3-week trip, which is a little bit much, to be honest. We had another friend of my wife's and her husband came, and it was a little faster paced than what they're used to because we were squeezing a lot into 3 weeks. There was Greece, there was Santorini, which is one of the islands of Greece. Then there was Egypt and a Nile cruise for 4 nights. And then I think it was 4 nights, right? 5 days, 4 nights, and taxiing and planes and stuff. And then Jordan for Petra. And we wanted to go to Jerusalem, but 2 days before our flight left was when that war broke out. So we did end up going to the Dead Sea. I floated in the Dead Sea. You can't really swim in it. I don't know if you've ever tried swimming in the Dead Sea, but you just can't. There's no boats in there because just they'll flop over. There's just something about the amount of salt in that lake or sea or whatever is so heavy. It's so dense that it's not like you're in normal water. It's the weirdest experience I've ever had. It's almost like being in another environment, like you're on another planet or something, and suddenly the gravity is different, the water is different or something. It was weird. And then we went to Mount Nebo, which is where Moses supposedly stood and said, "There's our promised land," because he finally saw something green outside of the desert out there and said, "I want that." Anyway, what's up, Wayne McConnell? I don't know if that's exactly how it happened, but I'm making things up as I go, as I often do. So what we are going to be doing is also making something up as we go, as Lewis is, pronouncing out here the Laz, the L. How do you get it? There it is. Got to click the right button. Why is it not doing it? There it is. Okay, there. L-A-Z. Thank you very much, Lewis. We are going to be doing something very cool for this 1,000 subs celebration / giveaway guitar. As I've spoken about it before, we didn't really know what we're going to do, and it had to be something that, like how I write music and stuff, it has to be inspired, right? And Johnny Bean was telling me something about, when I met Kramer down at
That was me.
When I met Gary Kramer briefly, and there was a lot of people around him and around that whole booth there where Stephen Rosen was with his brother, and they were all talking guitars and amps and the book, and then of course Mahaffey, I think, right? Amps was right there. That guy Tris, super cool dude and builder of a really killer sounding amp and combo thing that he had going on there. Hey, what's up, Barry? Rich is also here. Let's say hi to all the people popping in here. Barry Rich. He told me that his head is much warmer now that he's got one of the Chewios, which I'm not wearing right now because I'm wearing the Van Halen hat, which I don't always break out that often. But I'm wearing it today in combination with the Kramer guitar, because if you hadn't read the description, this is an early 80s inspired Ed Van Halen guitar. So it's inspired by. It's not going to be one of his. It's not going to be like any of his. Though there will be some similarities. So we can talk about that. I can tell you guys some more differences too. But what I thought would be cool is, everyone's got, like, the EVH ones that are out have the 5150. That's the famous Kramer guitar, right? The 5150. But early on, he put a Kramer neck, which is the beak style one. If you guys know what the beak style is, let's show you some pictures from my phone because it's easier. All right. So the beak style is like this one. And this is a very
up higher.
I know. This is a very similar guitar to what I bought. Notice that body shape. Now, of course, it does have a Floyd. It does have 3 knobs, potentiometers, pots, whatever. It does have a little switch there, and it has 2 pickups and the beak style headstock there. I have some color ones. I stole these from the internet. This is another black and white one. This one's cool. Yeah, you see? Now here he's got the Frankenstein body. So that's the original white and black striped guitar that then was painted up and striped like this. From what I understand, he always had that one same body, and he slapped this Kramer neck on it, right? And I believe Kramer guitars, they pretty much had the Floyd thing wrapped up, didn't they? Back in the day. It's another See if I can get a better angle for you guys here so you can get a... There we are. Notice speed knobs, right? And there's that beak headstock there, that Kramer headstock.
Are we going as far as putting the cigarette burn in it?
No.
Okay.
No, we'll let the people do that themselves if they want, whoever wins it. And I thought it would be fun, even though this is not the actual 5150 guitar, we do kind of like a montage of sorts. So we make something different than what you can get out there. Everyone does copies of his guitars and stuff. We're going to do a montage. All right. So we're going to do the 5150 striping on it, but then we might put 1984 on it instead of 5150, even though it won't be a 1984 guitar, which is a completely different animal. That's this thing, but it's this body shape. I was even thinking about maybe we'll do the 1984 pinstriping, but then he did this spray painting with the black and it's different, right? Got a couple different shots of this. And these are, of course, other people that have done replicas. And so we can actually bring up the actual guitar. Let's do that. The one that we purchased from Alto Music, by the way. Thank you, Alto Music. So I noticed online when I was doing my research on this that, okay, this guitar would typically sell at full price nowadays at around like $379. Then usually you'll see it on sale for $299. Rare occasions you'll see it at the Black Friday deal price, which I got it at, which was $149. So I thought, okay, I know this is a made in China guitar. I've played some of the made in China Kramer guitars. I played some of the made in Mexico EVH guitars, even a black and white striped Eruption 78 guitar. That thing had fret sprout. So one of the biggest complaints of this guitar is the fret sprout. And then, of course, it's got a Floyd. But it doesn't have one of the best Floyds. It's not even a 1000. It's a special. So that's why it's going to get the Ron Gunner treatment. Right, Ron?
Yes, sir.
So
Two parts came in already.
Two bags of parts, two things of some things. So we ordered this guitar from Alto. Let's go to Alto's website because they still have them there. Alto, might as well. Guitar shop online. Alto Music, that's what it's called. Alto Music. Let's just put in Kramer Pacer. So this is called the Kramer Pacer. Oops, what's going on here? Kramer Pacer Classic
series.
Now they've been making these for a little while.
Yeah, mine was the highlighter yellow one.
Cool. Let's bring it in. Present to the screen. Share the screen. There it is. And so many button pushes just to get something on the screen. There it is. So you can buy one yourself if you want. You can do the mods like what we're doing. They also have, Kramer obviously also makes, what's happening with my screen here? There we go. Kramer also makes, the 1984. They also make, the Baretta. So they make a number of different guitar-shaped Van Halen-esque kind of guitars, right? But I thought because this was like reminiscent of something more unusual, something that you don't see every day, kind of like, this guitar, right? Let me show you this picture. This is a cool picture. Take this off. Just the look on his face. He looks like a happy kid who just got his first, awesome guitar present. Look at that thing. Isn't that cool? Definitely has that 80s look, reminds me with the 3 in a slant, volume knob. And that, by the way, that tone pot that they use is an ultra pot, or it's like a combined, I don't think it's an ultra pot, but it's like a universal tuner or a universal tone. What do they call that? Is that, am I using the right termage? Vernacular. In other words, the tone works on both both
Yes.
pickups, so it works for both. Now, what we're doing to this thing is we're pulling all that stuff out, and I got, by recommendation of our friend Rob Welch. Thank you for the hookup, by the way, through Johnny Bean, because I probably never would have met. I might have met him at NAMM, because Tessie Switch is fairly well known as one of the places you go to for parts. If you want good stuff, them and like Adam Reaver, of course, you've got those two guys are all about the high quality stuff. And so I called Rob and I says, hey, I have this idea for this guitar, this giveaway. I don't want to just buy some cheap $200 thing and give it away and that's it. I want to make this fun. I want to make this like what we're all about, which is about the depths of the gear, like getting into it and getting excited about it. And like, I'm not going to want to give this thing away when I'm done with it. It's going to be like one of those.
A built-in whammy pedal. Just shove it against yourself.
There you go. So we're gonna trick this thing out. Now, even though Edward Van Halen never would play a Floyd that is totally floating, he'd always have it decked. I'm of the mind of let's float this puppy. So what do you guys in the chat say? So we're gonna go unconventional Van Halen. Okay, we're gonna float this thing. Now the bad part about that is then you can't use the detune on it unless you use one of those trem setters in the back or something like that, and then you can get away with stuff like that, right? Hey, RJ's Cave. What's up, dude? Vanilla Slice, what's up, dude? Yeah, you agree with the float. See, I agree with the float. I like floating. See, there we go. We got floaters here. Cushman, what's up, dude? Cushman, New York City.
If your Floyd's not floating, you're only using half your Floyd.
Yeah. Eddie was able to do quite a bit. Became a legend, the king of shred guitar, at least, right? Without floating a guitar or a trem. Hey, Mr. Mick, what's up, dude? What do you say, Mr. Mick? Float it? Ian, that's the funny thing. And neither have I. So one of the things I've been wanting to do the last couple of days. Yeah, you like to float. Yeah, everyone likes to float. I've been wanting to go to a Guitar Center or a store nearby somewhere that has one of these classics, because they have them. Just like they have the Berettas and stuff, they have these out there because they're inexpensive. And Guitar Center sells a lot of these kinds of guitars. Inexpensive guitars are probably their number one sellers. But the problem is, from the reviews I've seen online, did you watch some of those videos I sent you?
I watched the videos, yes.
Yeah. What do you think of the opinion of some of these guys? They were pretty dead on, weren't they?
Yeah. Like I said, I had one that was the highlighter lime or yellow.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the color it was. Real bright.
You sent me those pictures, yeah.
And I had it for a while, and then I ended up sold it to a guy in New York, actually.
Mm-hmm. See, Johnny's even saying he's seen them at the Guitar Center every time he goes there, and they're always on sale, on clearance. Right? Yep. And you go to Guitar Center almost daily, Johnny. Almost, not quite. Once a week at least. Right on. So let's go ahead and put this back up here and click through the details. All right, so it's got a Floyd special on it, but it's got that beak headstock. You see that? I dig that, but I don't want the red. So I'm gonna I want it to look like this thing. So I want it to look more like this. So, I want that red removed. Oops, I gotta add this, don't I? Where's my? It's easier just touchscreen. So I want it to be that clear maple. And for $10, you can actually get a sticker that has the A of the Kramer kind of broken off. I guess you could do it yourself too. I have one right here. Check it out. We could use this one. Right there. But we can buy the one that actually has it like checked off or broken off a little bit of the A for the Kramer of the guitar that I think it was called the Ad guitar, right? Johnny Bean, you would know. Calling Johnny Bean. Where's the Ad guitar shot? I have a picture of the Ad guitar. Yeah, here's the Ad guitar. Now, the thing is that the Ad guitar doesn't have this body. Here, let me solo me on this. The Ad guitar has this neck, the Kramer neck, on the original Frankenstein red and black and white stripe body. See? So that's more, a Fender style body, right? That he bought from Boogie Bodies or whatever. But then when he had Kramer make his 5150, they made it out of ash. Everyone who goes deep diving on that and goes into the rabbit hole of the 5150 guitar, it's ash. You can tell by the by like where it's worn by the grain of the wood, right? Yeah, it's a Floyd, man. It's not a great Floyd. It's a special, but if you change certain things, like so, we can talk about that, right? What are we gonna change? Oh, Johnny says
saddles.
no. Are you saying no that it's not ash? Anyway, or is it like? Well, I do know that the 5150s that they make now, the EVH 5150s, like my slime green one that I striped up, Flying Pickle 5150 style. Some of you guys don't know what the Flying Pickle thing's all about. It's a long story, but I was in a group chat with a bunch of other YouTubers, including Steve from Boston, and I had this bird named Roxy. I should put Roxy up into the thing. Hold on, let me add Roxy. Here she is. All right, is she there? Yeah, there she is at the top. You see her up there in the corner above?
Yeah.
Above. Yeah. So
right up there.
Right up there. Thank you. So I had this awesome bird, Roxy. We had a couple of little Pacific parrotlets. They're tiny little parrots, but they're really smart and very social. And Roxy and I we were in love, man. Roxy, and I even written like 2 songs about her. And the Scarlet Red Kramer. That's right. Hold on a second. I got a cough. You talk.
So Laz calls me up and says we're going to do this, and we're going to do a lot of changes. And the Floyd, if you upgrade the saddles and then do the stainless steel hardware, at least, if not titanium, it's fine. Because everybody thinks the special is the actual base plate itself it's still heat treated. The biggest problem with those is on the special, the saddles are made out of basically pot metal. So if you kind of crank it just a little bit too much, you'll just strip the threads right out of the saddles. So you upgrade the saddles and put stainless steel. And like I said, my son-in-law's had one now 3 years, beats the crap out of it, and we put regular Floyd saddles on it.
There you go.
And it's fine. Matter of fact, he used it so hard he bent the tremolo arm.
Dang, right on.
And it's still fine.
There you go. So even though it's not going to look exactly like a 5150, and it's not going to look exactly like an Ad guitar, it's going to be a combo of the Ad guitar with the beak neck, with the natural maple with on the headstock, but in a crimson red sparkle kind of color with stripes. And this is what we're going to do. Ron here is going to do all the hard work. Thank you, Ron. And then he's going to send it to me, and I'm going to stripe it because he can't paint. It's like, how many feet of snow fell in the last month there?
We got more coming. Well, most of that's gone now, but we got more coming.
More coming. Jesus. Yeah, it's starting to get a little nicer here. It did rain a little bit for a few days, which was really needed and welcome. But it's been cold over here. I think there was snow on Mount Diablo, which is crazy because Mount Diablo is the devil's mountain, and apparently that's supposed to be hot.
Hell froze over.
Yeah, but it definitely is not hot up there right now. Yep. Yeah, I know I'm getting them all mixed up, Johnny. Don't worry. I'm not a total EVH nerd like some of you guys, but I definitely respect the man for what he did, you know, and so that's why I thought this 1,000 subs giveaway should be something that honors a big part of this channel, which has a lot to do with Edward Van Halen and Johnny Bean getting me back into the whole Eddie Van Halen thing. So I wouldn't be into this Van Halen thing as much if it wasn't for Johnny. That's for sure. It was him that did it. Hey, what's up, Guitar Man? So we saw the ad guitar at the car show. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, there's the ad. That's right. There's the ad guitar. So I saw it, dude. I did so much research on this. It's like my brain is mixed up. So this is the ad guitar that you're talking about. I know. The one that this bottom corner right here. Focus. There it is. Oh, I got to get rid of Johnny's chat thing. That one. And then didn't he scribble something on it or something? And I have other pictures of that. But it's basically the same body as this picture, but with the Kramer neck. Or is that? No, that's the Fender neck. Where is it? No, it's the Kramer. See, now that's a Strat style Kramer neck. Is that even Eddie? That looks like an AI picture. For some reason, it didn't look like his real face there to me. Anyway, yeah, they had this. There was this. This was like the Pacer series. That's kind of like what they call the vintage. There's a vintage series that's more like the original Strat style Stratocaster headstock, right? And then, and so I got the gold tuners from Stu Mac, but I got the wrong tuner buttons. I thought I saw a picture where it looked like they were round, and it was late at night. I was half sleeping. The other thing that's different about those older Pacers like this one and the one that we're getting is that the older ones had a skunk stripe with, you know, you have to remove the neck to do the adjustment. Right, Johnny B? Whereas you've got, you know, the modern version, you have the truss rod adjustment elsewhere. So let's look at that guitar here again. The one that we have in the mail already. So let's click over here. All right, so it has, see that? Truss rod adjustment right there. Now, I've always wondered, does that weaken it?
No.
I wondered about that.
Nope. Believe it or not, what really weakens the headstock where it can break, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, but when you drill through the Floyd nut and run the bolts through the back of the neck, you're taking out real estate in two spots on the weakest part of the body.
That's
or the
right.
weakest part of the guitar.
Yeah. So there's this. So we'll have you, you know, just sand off that paint.
And put the decal on it.
No, just I have the decal. Or if you never use that decal. Okay, use that one. And use that one. And then break that little bit of the A off, like the pictures. Hold on, what's going on here? All right. It does come with the little wrenches there, which are probably cheap wrenches, but at least a little holder is cool. And we'll leave that silver. It doesn't matter. But there's the Floyd right there. And so we'll probably change out them screws, right? We'll change out the blocks. We'll change out the saddles. So
and you ought to you ought to get a push-in rod instead of that one.
Oh, really? Why?
They're just easier and there's no play. Because when you do that, if you loosen that up just a little bit, when you go to push it, it'll give a little bit of play before the tremolo moves. Push-in rod eliminates that.
Oh, that makes sense. So will that work with that? Is there something you need to do to that Floyd to make that work?
You just buy the push-in rod for $18.
Okay,
And
we'll
it
get
comes
that.
with the piece that goes on there.
All right. And then see those knobs, of course, those are going to be changed. And I thought it was cool that, look at these pictures again. Get you back to here. Even on his 1984 guitar, he's got a speed knob on it. And in those earlier Pacers, they also had speed knobs on them. Right? So I thought that's cool.
On it.
So that's what we're going to put on there. All right. Now, the only thing that I haven't talked about is, do we need to change the block? Do we need to go with a brass block or do anything with the block?
That's probably going to have a 32 in it. So you can go with like a 37 brass if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll get a block.
Because you're upgrading the pickups and everything, so why not?
Yeah, we'll talk about that next, right? So see that switch right there? So I have a feeling that's a smaller hole than the one that's required for the one that we got, but maybe not. But notice the sparkle. Doesn't that look cool? It's going to look cool with that sparkle with the striping on it. And I'm going to do the white and black stripes with pinstriping, automotive pinstriping, which doesn't peel off easily, right? But you can't peel it off. You just use a blow dryer, hit it with a blow dryer, and it'll peel right off. Heat it up a little bit. What's great about that is that if you don't want to be up on stage and everyone's like, "Oh, play a Van Halen riff," you can take this guitar and play. And I'm telling you, you're gonna be able to play any kind of style of music with this setup that we're doing, because now we'll talk about what that switch is going to be changed out to. So right now, that thing's a 3-way. Mm-hmm. We're getting, by our friend Rob's recommendation, I was even thinking about this. I asked him, "Hey, I had this." You already have it. You want to show it?
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you show it then? All right, here's Ron. So you can describe this thing. What is that thing?
This is made in England.
Yep.
And it is a freeway switch.
Turn it sideways.
It goes pretty much any way you want it.
It's a 6-way switch.
Look.
Yep. Look at that thing. Turn it sideways. Look how many connectors there are.
Yeah. So between this switch and then the pots that are also push-pull and splits.
That too we're going to talk about. Yep.
Yeah. That's going to be the hardest part. Wiring.
That's going to be the hardest part.
I thought doing Michael B's Kramer was hard when I had a neck pickup in it because I had to put an extra switch in it. Mm-hmm. I thought that was hard. That was easy.
But no. Yeah. So what we're going to do, you guys.
Here's your tuner.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back. I got to see what you're doing. All right, there's the tuner. See, for whatever reason, in the picture, I thought I saw that he had these like bean or round shaped tuners, but they're not. They're more like the Schaller minis. But these are still cool, don't you think? Mm-hmm. We're gonna use them. If somebody's having a shizzy fit about this, I do have some gold mini Schaller tuning buttons that I removed off of my guitar. I bought them for my 60th anniversary guitar, thinking, I'll use those on there instead of the pearloid white ones that came with that 60th anniversary USA Strat. That's a killer guitar too, by the way. But I decided to make that a blackout. I blacked out all the parts. So I did a pearloid pickguard, black parts, and I wanted the buttons to match, so I made the buttons black ebony buttons, and it's super cool. That's a super cool guitar. And then I bought a gold Floyd, which I want to buy a new gold Floyd. A gold Vegatram. I want to buy a new one because the new ones are more higher level. They're not like spray on paint kind of powder coat gold. They're like gold plated looking, if not, electroplated or something like that, right? So hey, Matt Hatter, what's up, dude? He's saying hi to everybody. Yeah, anything else would be better, right? Yeah, the zinc block is probably what's in there. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. So we'll probably put a brass
Brass.
block in there, and then that. Now we can talk about the pickups. So okay, wait, we didn't talk about the switches. So okay, the 6-way switch. Why do we want a 6-way switch? Well, here's why.
I don't know. That was your and Rob's
This
idea.
here's why. And I brought this to Rob's attention because my D'Angelico that I had 59s in it, custom 59 Duncans in it. That thing was killer because you were able to get some killer tones out of that thing with how you switched it up, and that's what I thought this could be. This could be not just a shredder. This can be like a does everything guitar. And that's kind of like what those guitars back in the late 70s and early 80s were. They were like studio artists, like, Swiss Army knife guitars. You walk in with that and it'll do everything if you got the right pickups in it. So that's why we're junking the ones that came with this, which I've seen some video where they say they're not even Alnico 5s, even though they advertise them in that way. So I'm curious about that. I almost want to, take the pickups out of one at Guitar Center and see if it's ceramic or not. Because this one guy took them apart. He's like, "Hey, I build pickups and I know pickups, and this is not a magnet. It's not a Alnico magnet here. This is a ceramic pickup, and they're selling it as if it's a Alnico 5 pickup." So who knows if that's happening at the Kramer factory or somebody else did that before they sent it to him or whatever. But he supposedly bought one new. And this happened to him. So I don't know who else might have checked these, but you could check that.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, part of for helping out, you're going to get to keep all the other parts, obviously. So you keep those for other builds and helping people, right? That's what you do. That's what Ron does. So that'll be cool. Peggy in the chat. What's up, Peggy in the chat? You are here, you see? Yeah. You got your stupid printer to print that stupid paper. Okay, I know. Copies, making copies. It's not easy making copies. Hey, what's up, Searching Patel and Brian? Yeah, man. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun build, dude. I saw your video about. I was looking up, like, you happened to put one up about kit builds recently, right? And then you had some other ones on kit builds, and you've done a bunch of kit build things. And originally, I was thinking about buying a StewMac kit build, like a Strat style body one, and do something with that. But they sold out. They sold every single kit they had in stock this Christmas, and pre-Christmas even, they were gone. So that put a kibosh on that idea. It is what it is. But then this happened, and sometimes it's serendipitous, as they say, when these things happen, and this popped up somehow. You know how I found this guitar, by the way? I looked up what's the best cheap guitar you can buy. I just AI Google searched it, right, using Gemini or whoever her name is, if she's even real. And and Gemini said that for the money right now, this guitar is the best thing, according to what everyone out there says. For the money, this is the best guitar. And I thought, well, there you go, because it's got a Floyd, and with some tweaking, you can get this thing. Not just, even some of the guys who were doing reviews says, okay, after a little fret sprout, a little bit of filing and a little work on it, and kind of wearing it in, the Floyd was fine. The Floyd started to work just fine.
Yeah. First thing I'm going to do is I'll take the neck off, fix the fret sprout, and then I'm going to make sure it's level. All the frets are level. If they're not, I'll level them, recrown them. And then with my polishing system thing I'm using now, they come out like, it's gonna be like glass, and there's no paste or anything involved. So,
and not only that, but from what I understand, these are not medium jumbo sized frets, even though they advertise them as such. Let's take a look at that. Supposedly they advertise them as such. Let's look at the deets. All right, details. Pardon my sniffles here. Features, specs. Okay, older body produces a well-rounded, balanced tone and excellent sustain. It has anything to do with that. Anyway, I'm not a huge believer of that kind of stuff. Maple neck with slim profile, so designed for fast, smooth playability and effortless handling. Maple fret fingerboard enhances brightness and clarity for every note. And then Alnico 5 humbuckers, which we're changing, so who cares? Floyd Rose tremolo system. They don't say which one. and 22 medium jumbo frets, which they don't even look like that, but that's what they say they are. All right, let's see. Tech specs. There we go. 2.25.5. Yeah. There you go. So they don't give you a lot of deep down detail, but it's a locking, it's an R2 locking nut. So not a super narrow one. And that's another thing that I in my research, I learned Edward went to Kramer for. He wanted them to build him a wider yet flatter neck than what he was able to get elsewhere. Okay, I got to hit that button again. Ugh.
Lads, you just need to drink some bourbon straight. Warm straight bourbon.
I have warm tea with a good splash of bourbon in there. Trust me. And let me turn this a little more toward me. There we go. All right, so back to the specs. So I did read more specs elsewhere. So let's see. I think I've got them on my phone. Let's get rid of this thing. Now, so what I thought was, go ahead.
Before you get into anything else.
Okay. Yeah, about the switches and the knobs.
Let's go about the potentiometers.
So the potentiometers are being supplied by our good friend Rob Welch from Tessie Switch. So next time I'm on the show, I'm going to wear his shirt because I have bought many a part from him that I haven't yet installed in some other guitars that I still need to do. Because he sells and has the good quality stuff. So those things that you have right now are not from him yet. They're in the mail. They're coming to you.
Yeah, these are from Stu Mac.
They're from Stu Mac.
Didn't even get a decal.
What do you mean?
They used to give you a decal.
Oh wow. I wonder why. Well, anyway, Stu Mac also did a solid for me because I was supposed to get free shipping because last time I made a purchase of that Japanese fret knife. Remember that thing I got? Fret saw knife, whatever. See, this is why I need the squad. You guys out there and this guy over here are the guitar mod squad. I'm just the guy like who's talking about it because I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to do this stuff, but I'm going to learn. And I'm pretty crafty, by the way. I know how to build things and make things, and you know, with your help, I was able to set up 2 guitars properly. The which was it? The
you rebuilt the Floyd for the V, yeah.
The Floyd, we rebuilt that one, and we properly set up the Satriani guitar too with your help. Remember that? Yeah, they are the shiz, right? Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I'm still coughing a little bit, Holly. They told me that my doctor told me. I called the hotline, you know, the nurse line at Kaiser, and she says, "Oh, yeah, it's going to take like a month and a half. Some people 2 months, but." You know, it depends on you know how you're. Hey, Dom's here. What's up, dude? I gotta call you, man, soon. Every week goes by, and I'm like, I gotta call you. Yeah, she's my time. That's a great song. She's crafty. Anyway, rap music. I like that stuff too, man. Anyway, so the switch, the whole idea of the 6 switch, the 6-way, is to have 3 on the right and 3 on the left. Where you're able to switch the different pickup between parallel or series. So that way you can line up your pickups in parallel or series, depending on which pickup you choose by what? The pots, which the 2 volume pots are going to be push pulls. That's right. You like to push and pull. You like to push them and pull them. So we're gonna have some quality push-pull knobs that we're getting from Tessie Switch from Rob, and then we're gonna add, and you're gonna have to route that body for this one. So this is gonna make it a more unique guitar, more like a 5150 guitar, like my 5150. So not Eddie's 80s 5150, but the 5150 that he sells, that he designed before he passed away. You know, he was very involved in everything that they were doing. He had to sign off on. And so his 5150, like the green slime green one that I have, that has a momentary switch on it. So it has a dead switch or kill switch or whatever you call it, right? Kill switch on it. So of course we respect the king and put a kill switch on this thing. So this guitar is going to do a lot. It's going to have push-pull pots that can choose, which coil, either the full-on humbucker or tap it. So that's going to be your tapping. So if you have it pushed in, you got full-on humbucker. You pull it, you've got half of that, right? You got a tap coil or depending on how are those things wired. So we can talk about what these pickups are now too. So depending on how they are wired, and these are 4 conductor wire Duncan pickups. We're getting JB in the bridge, but not just any bridge JB. We're getting the trembucker made for tremolo width, right? Isn't that important? And some people don't know this, and maybe I'm wrong, but from what I've understood from reading, the reason why Edward tilted his pickup sideways was because he wanted to get the string over the magnets better, which wasn't happening if he had his pickup going horizontal properly, because the tremolo, the Floyd, was wider. And so he had to make an adjustment with the pickup to pull some of the sound out of the thing, or whatever, the gravitation or whatever you want. It's electromagnetic, right? Everything's gravity, right? It's electromagnetic force, which is what gravity is, right? So anyway, so we're talking about how the sound, the vibration of the strings are picked up by the pickup. So it's a magnetic electronic thing.
I'm probably going to have to print out a book.
What's up, Uncle Raymond?
What switch and what configuration of the 6-way switch will do what.
You got to figure that.
It's not going to be an easy wiring.
Here's the thing.
Worth of wire in this thing.
Thank God we bought those from Stu Mac, right? Because if anyone's going to help you with that, it's them.
Uncle Raymond, you're about half that. Is what this
I think we're if we do buy a brass block, and then with all the shipping around and everything, it's probably going to be about 1,000.
Yeah.
So
that's not a bad giveaway guitar.
Wife. No. So like I said, I didn't want this to be just any old pull off the rack. Here's a guitar.
Vanilla. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's like a gear shifter.
Yeah.
With reverse.
And you get your choice of where to hook stuff up to.
Isn't that nice? Look at it. It's like the Wheel of Fortune there.
That's what I'm going to do. Turn it where it stops, it gets hooked up.
The more I talk, the more I cough.
So this guitar is going to have all that.
Has a magnetic resonance, right, Tom? Yeah.
With the new pickups.
Yeah.
So it will have Seymour Duncan pickups in it.
Yep. So I did not buy locking tuners. I came that close, but I'm like, I'm getting some Stu Mac tuners, and they're, I think, 15-to-1 gear ratio or 16-to-1. I think they're 16-to-1.
It didn't say.
When I bought them, it said I almost bought the more expensive $100 ones or some $100-something ones, but in gold they were like 120 or something. I'm like, this is crazy. For a Floyd guitar, you don't really need locking tuners per se, because
it just makes it easier to change the strings on with the Floyd.
Yeah, and changing strings on the Floyd's already a torture anyway, so what does it matter? An extra 5 minutes. I'm just kidding. Yeah, if you know what you're doing, right? Yeah, Ron's hourly rate is luckily, how do they put it? Very expensive, probably usually, but yeah, for me, it's like a labor of love, right? Where's that thing? Hold on, I need that thing. Where's that thing? Is there a love sound? No, there's no love sound. What?
Yeah, pretty Stu Mac.
Okay, we don't have a love sound.
And they are gold.
That's the closest thing.
Chrome.
Yeah, that's cool, right? Yeah. Even though it's the wrong kind of button, but like I said, if we need to change that button out, we'll change it out. I've got the proper one that matches like his early era Kramers. Yeah. Yeah, Ron's gonna set this thing up nice, dude. Yeah.
It'll play.
So what we're getting in the pickup category here, we've got a Duncan JB Trembucker in the bridge. So we spoke about that. It's a 4-conductor bridge. So doing all these splits and all this stuff. And I think from what I understand, they send you plenty of wire, right? And then we've got the Tessie switch, which also comes with plenty of wire because they know you might stick it up on the upper horn, which we're going to do. I was thinking about changing the tone out for that, but I think it's going to be better.
Upper horn or lower horn?
Well, the one that's the lower one, the one, closer to the floor when you play. So that's the lower horn. Yeah, you're right. So the upper horn being the one closer to you.
Mm-hmm.
Upward, right. Anyway, so the lower horn.
Same thing I did to CeCe's guitar.
Yeah, exactly. In that same kind of position. Kind of like, where they put it on the 5150s. So, in the meantime, I'll go. I still have those in storage. I got to bring all my Van Halen-esque guitars down. So I have my green 5150. I have my Schecter that I striped up black stripes on it like a Van Halen guitar. And then I have my Relic Frankenstein Relic EVH guitar.
Yes, Kush.
Yeah. Yes.
I live 50 minutes away from AccuSure Stadium.
There you go. So it should be a fun build. So what is the neck position? Now, when I said for the pickups, this guitar is going to be able to do any kind of killer sounds. Like you're going to be able to do any kind of style with this. Leaving that tone knob alone, we might get a different, newer tone knob though, right? We might want to buy a different tone pot. What kind of tone pot would you want to have with those push-pull pickups and those types of, or push-pull pots and those types of pickups?
Well, I have a Fender, a double one over there, a Fender. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, right. So that's still left to be decided.
Is when everything gets here.
Yeah, and you can measure it out and check everything. Meter, attach meters and test things.
So Laz bought all this stuff, and it's all coming to me.
I have it directly shipping to him because if I try to ship anything, like you all know, it's gonna take months. Oh my God, I'm terrible, man. I never have time, dude. I mean, there's a studio here of gear I want to hook up to make music and stuff, and it's still not done because I just never have time for this. But we're doing this, so this is important. This is fun. This is half of the journey, right? The connection with all you all to me is the most important part.
You've been saying since I've known you now,
3 years that I'm going to hook up stuff.
Gonna do it.
Well, I did say about the guitar, even the studio, putting the studio together. I've been saying that since forever. And it keeps getting reconfigured and stuff, but I have been playing out, so I did reach that goal this last year or so, is find some other people to play with and start working on some covers and working on some originals, and we've been doing that, which it's been great. It's really great to get out and play keyboards, bass, drums sometimes. Mostly it's keyboards and guitar, and my chops are improving a little bit on guitar because of that, because I'm playing at least weekly out for 3-4 hours, and then a little bit at home. It's the journey. Yeah, don't forget the like button. Thanks, man. Thank you. Searching for tone. Yeah. So the thing is, man, I wanted this guitar to be something that if you're not into Van Halen, you can pull the pinstriping off and play this out anywhere. And even though it's got a very 80s look to it, mind you, with the Floyd and all, obviously, it's going to be kind of like a sleeper, as they call it in the drag racing world, where you don't quite think, oh, this looks like a Kramer Pace or some piece of crap guitar. But wait till you play it, and wait till you not just get your hands on it, but wait till you start switching around and go, oh, what does this do? What is it? Oh. So the neck is going to be just a really cool 59, isn't it? Is it a 59 that I got?
59,
Yeah, it is a 59 Duncan neck pickup. And I wanted to do that because I wanted something that pairs well with the JB, but could also give you real stratty tones if you split that coil, right? It can sound pretty good. And then with the way this thing's going to be set up, where you can also maybe even wire one up. If you ever wanted to wire something up where you have an out of phase sound, if you play that kind of music, like funky kind of funky town kind of Strat stuff. It's kind of cool to have, an out of phase style thing. There's a guitar I have that I didn't win it, but I won it in a sense. Hold on. It's the Henning Pauly. I call it the Love Potion #9 because it's number 9 of 42 of his 42 guitars. His first signature guitar that Harley Benton asked him, "Hey, we'd like to make a signature guitar for you." And you know why they do that, because that becomes like a thing people talk about more. And so it's not just any Harley Benton guitar, but it's a Henning Pauly signature guitar, and he can like talk about it all the time and have it hanging on his wall. So they didn't get the color right. It's kind of more of a green color than what his color really should have been like. His color really should have been more like that guitar that's there, kind of like that, kind of like blue jean, kind of looking faded blue jean color. But that guitar has a setup where when you tweak the tone knob and you have it in this like one position, it gives you that Brian May kind of mid honk sound, like to a T. It just nails it. It just sounds so cool. And so there are things like that you can do with this kind of a switcher, where you have the ability to change it up, but you'd probably want to take it to a tech, because how close everything is there, man. You're gonna have to have some some still hands, some steel cold hands there, dude. Right? Yes. And he nods. It is kind of like radio, Ron. Using voice works. Anyway, we're still training, Ron.
Yeah.
It takes time to get used to this, right? You gotta, like, dead air is dead air. You gotta, that's why I'm talking all the time. And I'd be doing that anyway, but people who know me. Yeah, man. So let's see what else the chat has to say. Actually, I heard that it does not. I heard it's the opposite. Yeah. Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts. I saw one of the funniest shirts at NAMM, said "Drunken Grown-ups" in the Dunkin' Donuts font. It was so funny. Drunken Grown-ups. Yeah, man. I had custom 59s in my D'Angelico, and that thing sang. But that thing, of course, is a semi-hollow with a block type guitar that definitely you can get some interesting harmonical sounds. Yeah, and the Tessie switch, kill switch, the kind that it's like a gamer switch. You can slap that puppet, it'll last forever.
Which one is he sending you?
The black, the black one. I think the flat gamer one, not the stick out one.
Oh,
the more flat. I think so. That's what
like
that's what I have.
Okay. Yeah, I put that in the V.
Mm-hmm.
And
nice.
I got one in the
oh, cool. In the star guitar.
Yeah, with that Warrior. I can never remember that. And I put one in the blue Charvel or blue Jackson, but it has the LED on it. So when you I got it wired in, so when you plug the jack or plug the cord in, it lights up the LED.
Right on. Yeah, it was like this, but it had like Drunken and then Grown-ups underneath. So Drunken up top and then Grown-ups down below. So if you looked at it just quickly, you thought it said Dunkin' Donuts, but then when you look, you're like, wait a minute. Oh, Drunken Grown-up. So that's funny, So that was one of the best NAMM shirts that I saw at NAMM. Yeah. Right on. So I can't give away other things that I know about, but the bottom line is that there's some more Kramer things going to be happening around some friends of ours, which is really cool. And so I did do some deep dive on Gary Kramer stuff. I did look into some deets. So you guys want me to read a little more deets? And we will okay, I'm getting messages galore here. So let me look up my notes, because I did make some notes. So
okay, well, while you're doing that, let me say on the Fretworks channel, I put out an idea. Anybody who has donated parts for my, I don't know if you want to call it a program or whatever it is.
It's your passion.
Yeah, I want to do a show with everybody that's donated parts on there.
Okay, that's cool.
You know, and thank each of you personally right then and there.
Very cool.
So, thank you.
So I'm going to show another picture here. Picture. So some of you guys know who those people are. The guy in the middle, we all know. But the guy in the vest and the polka dot shirt, I believe that's probably Gary, right, Johnny Bean? And then they have the other guy is one of the people that worked with Kramer. And I think his name is Greg. Yeah, it's written here. Greg Di Benedetto. And EVH, and then Joe Basso at the shoot. So that's not, I thought that was Joe Basso. So Basso, or Bozo. No Bozos. No, I'm kidding. Oh my God, that was a bad joke. They were on a Guitar World February 1990 cover together. All right, so in this, this is a DiMarzio stories. Here, should I tell the DiMarzio story? So Eddie arrived in an open bed pickup truck with the Frankenstein, a Teisco Spectrum 5, and a striped Kramer with 5150 written on it. None in cases, all tossed on a blanket in the back of the flatbed, right, in the back of his truck. Side note, the Teisco can be seen in the Van Halen's music video, Finish What You Started. And there seems to be an old Tweed amp in the video too, but it looked bigger than the deluxe. All right, so on with the story. When we shook hands, I was surprised by how strong Eddie's grip was. But it made sense. It's Eddie Van Halen. Of course he has strong hands, but this wasn't just a strong handshake. It was different. I asked him if he preferred Ed, Eddie, or Edward. He said he didn't care. I moved the guitars onto the set, and after some quick introductions to my crew, Eddie went into the dressing room for hair and makeup. Maureen had suggested keeping everything simple, so I'd arranged pizzas. Arranged pizzas and had he arranged for getting pizzas and beer. Okay. An assortment of beer. The shoot went wonderfully, and Eddie stayed for hours, much to my surprise. All right. Now then, here's some photos of Ed's Shangri-La of guitardom. Look at that. Wow, huh? So I have this link in my description, by the way, if you guys want to check this stuff out a little longer. And see, there's that double neck Kramer there with the, see that one that's, I think Rob Johnson has every one of these, like in some kind of a copy. Yeah, there's even a Gretsch there. There's just so many cool guitars here. Here's a good shot. Some of you guys might have seen some of these photos in color. Van Halen fans and nerds, right? I know it's a little shaky, sorry. It's the brandy that's in my tea. All right, so on with the story. It's a long story, so we'll make it quick. All right, so Eddie arrived in the open bed truck, blah, 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 blah. Shoot went well. Greg had an advanced copy of Jeff Beck's Guitar Shop on cassette and played it during the photo shoot. We talked guitars, gear, pizza, Jimmy Page, and Beck while Eddie played along with the cassette, of course. All right, continue on. That was Eddie's workbench, by the way, those pictures of all those guitars. Circa 1993. Laney photographs. Oh, Larry photographs. previous page. Okay. All right, the guitar team. So there was tremendous interest in Eddie's sound, and players had been studying everything about him for years. His tone spanned a decades-long debate that continues to this day. Were his amps modified by some electronics wizard? Was there something special about his personality or personally built and sometimes chiseled at-home guitars? What was the secret sauce that remained out of reach? Up to this point, Eddie's own stable of favored guitars or instruments was varied at best, including his original Frankenstein Strat, a Stratocaster with, according to Wayne Charvel, a DiMarzio Super Distortion in the bridge, which I think they found out was not true. Turned out to be a JB. Because when they took that thing apart, apparently, maybe this is the one that was in the 5150 though, but apparently didn't he have 335 PAF in that thing originally? Right.
Yep.
Then he had the Ibanez Destroyer, a Steinberger. He even played a V, right? Baretta style Kramer. However, this was going to be different. The Music Man Van Halen guitar was going to be a ground up build, and the new guitar was going to include a neck pickup. So this isn't Kramer. This is DiMarzio stories, and DiMarzio remade the pickup for the Music Man guitars, right? As it turned out, there was even more going on, and you had to include Eddie. He knew the sound he was going for, often intuitively, and he'd been experimenting and tinkering with his guitars, effects, and amps for years. Ed played total electric guitar. What? Yeah, Ed played total electric guitar. Okay. He made every piece of gear a part of his sound. Our job was to get from Eddie's mind through his hands into the pickups, across the amplifier, and out the speakers. And that's not counting the wood, a tremolo, and the occasional power draw. Right. Pound cake comes to mind. Additionally, we had to figure out what would make it all work even better. Early in the project, I decided to buy a guitar I called Dudley Gimple at Music Man to arrange for it, and asked, so what does it look like? And he was acquainted with all the California builders and modern approaches to guitar design. Steve Blucher worked at New York City's Guitar Lab, Alex Music, Carl Thompson, and started at DiMarzio in 73. And he designed his first pickup, the X2N, for DiMarzio in 79, and created numerous other pickups for the company. And me, I invented replacement guitar pickups, and by 73 had already released the Super Distortion, Dual Sound, Model 1, Bass, Fat Strat, pre-B, blah, 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 blah. Okay. We were all committed to doing our very best, blah, blah, blah. When I interviewed Eddie for Young Guitar Japan, he told me that he wanted to be able to go into a music store anywhere in the world and take a Music Man Van Halen guitar off the wall and play it on stage that night. I knew that was Sterling's rule. The guitar had to be set up exactly how Eddie liked them and ready to play out of the box. Eddie was committed to giving guitar players quality and their money's worth. I was grateful to be part of the team. So building the pickups, there's, lore about that. Let's go. Yeah, okay, we don't need to get into this because we're not using these pickups anyway. But there's a lot of interesting stuff there. Side note, we've continued to use the same or additional patent technology on lots of other DiMarzio designs, like the Air Norton, the Air Zone, the Air Classic, PAF 36th anniversary, and PAF Bridge model, blah, 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 blah. So we're talking about DiMarzio here instead of Duncan. And we're using Duncan. So all right, let's go to the other one. Open this in Alto Music. So there was another blurb that I thought I'd share, and then we'll end this show because otherwise it's going to go on forever. So back at that time, the glory of the 1980s with these Kramer Pacer guitars, right? Kramer clearly was embracing the super strat culture, as they called it. And the Pacer was Kramer's signature take on that form. It's a little weird shape, right? But when you play it, it's real comfy because the way that cutaway is on the upper bout, if you want to call it that, it's really comfortable to play and probably does something to the way it balances out. The way Eddie played and jumped around and ran around must have been something to do with a lot of that, right? What do you guys think in the chat? He was one of the best guitarists in the world at that point. Yeah, no doubt, dude. Right? I mean, pretty much everyone else was just like, oh God, Even Jeff Beck was hating. People were asking about, hey, what do you think of this young Eddie Van Halen guy? He's like, ah, I was doing that stuff 20 years ago, and you guys didn't care. Now you're asking me about this guy. No, but anyway, what Eddie did was very special. That's for sure. Yeah, well, I think Wolf is happy that those people have their guitars. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that? That's an interesting topic. Should all the people that own Edward's guitars give him back to Wolfie? I don't know if Wolfie would just want those people to give him up. Would he? I mean, I would, as a person, like if I was somebody like that, I'd be like, hey, I'm glad my dad's guitars are out there in people's hands and they're enjoying them. I get the side of it where, they're sold for millions and all this and that. There's like this, you got to be like a banker or some, stockbroker or some drug dealer kingpin or something like that to own one of those things. But maybe you're just an entrepreneur who's, really smart and has done a lot of good things and you bought it and then put it in a museum or something like that, right? And there's that, right? Yeah, but yeah, these choices have influenced us for decades, right? Yeah, exactly. I don't know what Ron's doing. I don't know if you're talking about Ron. Yeah, I mean, there has to be a museum, and to do something like that, can you imagine taking something like those guitars on a tour around the world? Or even around the United States? I mean, for number one, it would be a prime target for people to want to rip off, because it'd be worth easily millions and millions, right? So that would be impossible to do.
But
That's why you have like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You go there.
Well,
right?
but if someone stole one of those guitars that was worth a couple $1 million, what are you going to do with it once you take it? You can't show it to anybody.
Yeah.
You can't take it out and play it. You can't tell anybody you got it, or you're going to jail. So.
Yeah, but people still do that. They've done that with all kinds of stuff. Recently, the Louvre, remember, was ripped off.
Yep.
Broad daylight. They went in like workers and nobody suspected until it was too late. Oh my God. Yeah. So they said the Pacer was one of the first Strat style guitars sold stock in multiple versions with a humbucker in the bridge position. Can you imagine that? I mean, just think about that for a second. All right. Back then in the early 80s, this was the first off the shelf factory made guitar you can buy that had a humbucker in the bridge that was a Strat style body. That's how rare that was back then. What Edward came up with is like, hey, I like the sound of this, but I don't want it in that body style, and let's slap it into this body style and see how it works, right? So, it being a 25.5-inch scale, 22 frets, right? Maple neck, maple fingerboard. Now with the more easily adjustable, or whatchamacallit. Keep wanting to say tremolo, truss rod. Now that's the one thing I'm most concerned about with this over time is that truss rod any quality or not? Unlikely. It's a very good truss rod. It's probably
usually the ones they're putting in now are really decent.
Yeah. That would be the only thing for a cheaper guitar, but I would doubt that even if you bought like a 1984. So let's look that up real quick. I think they have them at Alto. Oh, good. I know, it's terrible. Let's go back to that. Kramer. I think they have the 84s there. Let's look that up. Kramer 1984. Oh, it's not even popping up, so we've got to look elsewhere. All right, let's go to Sweetwater then. There we go. Sweetwater. Open. So Sweetwater carries everything, so they should have one, right?
Mm-hmm. You would think so.
Oh, why is it not typing when I want to type? '84. So they call it the 84. All right, there we go. Yeah. Here's one in radiant red. All right, let's. Oh, you can get a $11,000 mic locker giveaway at Sweet One. Go there and sign up. All right, back to posting this up. Share the screen. So this is cool. There we go. All right, you guys see that? All right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's $999 right there. So that's $1,000 right there. It's got the truss rod adjustment at the bottom though, which is kind of nice. Right. It does have a 1000 bridge. That is the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, in that case, we probably would have changed out maybe some screws and stuff, right? And it does have the hockey stick neck. So if you wanted to go, in the longer one, if you wanted to go big banana hockey stick neck like this, the 84 is your Huckleberry, right? And you can stripe that thing up 5150 style if you want to. And it's got, you know, them cool switcherooskies there. Let's go. Right. So now here, instead, you have, you know, that fluted style volume knob. A little closer. Knob. The MXR knob, right? A little closer. So if you're doing cathedral and stuff like that, it's kind of nice to have that closer, right? Versus the let's pull up alto music so we can compare these side to side. Well, that one's right next to it too. Okay, can I show two at the same time? No, I have to remove one, or can I present another one? You have to stop that one. I got to present the other one. See, this is dudes at StreamYard. Help us out with this kind of stuff, man. Let us show them more than one screen at a time, and then make it so I don't have to click 5 times just to get to the screen. Just saying. So see where that's at? That's right there. Right?
Yep.
So, you know, and the switch is in a nice position, easy to get to, but not so much in the way. Right? And the one that we're going to have is not such a mini switch. Like this is a super mini one. See how tiny that thing is? Probably cut yourself on that thing. It's almost kind of like
that's the mini toggle.
In the mini toggle, right? So let's go back to now this other one. Got it. God. All the like jumping through hoops you have to do.
That's what I put in Michael B's Kramer is a mini toggle, but they were the flat blades.
Right, you can get the flat blade types, like what you see like on aircraft, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, looking at this bridge right here, looks pretty solid. And I don't know if there's a difference in thickness in like the metal of the bridge. I don't know why it doesn't allow you to zoom it as much as you want to. But this has more that size of toggle as what what you have there in hand, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna respect the original Pacer, original kind of classic look with the speed knobs instead of the MXR or, you know, the like Strat style tone knob ones. We're gonna go with the speed knobs because I think that looks cool. That's just me. Tell me what you guys think if I'm wrong. But you know, instead of that headstock, we're gonna have the beak, which will be unique, the unique beak. And then of course over here we're gonna have another come on, right here somewhere, right? You guys see my pointer? Somewhere over here we're gonna have the other cover plate for what's going to be on the other side, a momentary or kill switch, right?
I'll have
so any questions? Any questions from the class? So that oh, look at that. They did do this skunk stripe thing. Look at that. And they do have the tools on there. See, I wish they would let me just zoom it as much as I wanted to, but Sweetwater, let me zoom. They won't let me zoom more. That's that. That's it. That's all they let you do. But I think it's going to be a cool kind of, I don't know, like a homage to Edward, right?
Yep. To his different styles.
To his different styles. It's going to have a little bit of every different style in there in some ways, because it's going to have the two pickups. It's going to have the kill switch. It's going to have a 6-way switch, so you can do some unique switching. So you can, it doesn't have to be a shreddy guitar. You can take that tone knob down and maybe the volume down or a little bit or whatever, or blend the two, because you have two different volumes, right? And if you have the two pickups blended in parallel rather than series, but even in series you can blend the tone.
Yeah.
I mean, blend the knobs, so it'll have a different sound. So you'll be able to come up with some cool freaking combinations.
The only thing you're going to have to do is have a little notepad with you, and when you figure out the sound you like, you're going to have to write down where everything's set so you can come back to it.
Well, that's part of the fun. That's the chasing of the tone, right? There's the book. Hold on, let's grab it. That's exactly what we're talking about, Ron. We're talking about little cars fell down. That's the guy right there, Tone Chaser, right? That's what we're doing here. We're chasing tone too, man. We're chasing the tone, and we're chasing the. Oh, there we go. Postcard. I got it. Book soup. Yeah, we're chasing the tones, because for us, check that. That's cool. Right? It's all about, the inspiration that you get from others. Is that Johnny Bean? Did Johnny Bean just pop into the chat? Let's say he's walking somewhere. Are you out getting groceries or something? There he is. Oh. Scintillating. Oh, thank you, Johnny Bean, for popping in with a bag of chips. Oh my God. Yeah. Last could use some hot peppers. What do hot peppers do? My sweetie's last name originally is Serrano, like the pepper. She's hot. Yeah, ASMR. Oh, that's right. You got the ASMR jokes. Yeah, that's ASMR, right? Yeah. So, yeah, definitely recommend the book. Right. Yeah. I have that one too. Where's that one? It's somewhere over here. I have that as well. I listened to that from beginning to end with Johnny Bean in the car. We listened to the entire thing with Alex speaking, reading it. I know, Matt Hanner. That's Johnny Bean being Johnny Bean, man. That's just what we've grown accustomed to around here anyway. But it's all good. We love it. So that's the show, you guys. I went a little extra, half an hour longer, talking about this build that we're going to do. And then you've already received some of the parts, and then we're going to be receiving the guitars arriving soon. We're changing out the pickups so that they're black with black pickup rings. We're going to upgrade whatever else we need to upgrade on that thing. And the only finish work that you have to do on it outside of the frets is the headstock.
Yeah.
Just strip that paint off.
Drill and route the hole out for the switch.
And I believe from the other stats that I did read about elsewhere or learned on other people's videos and stuff about that guitar, is it does have a satin finish on the neck, which is nice. There have been people that in the past, when they made these, they were more of a gloss finish, and people would strip them off. There was this guy in Australia who loves these Pacer classics, and what he's done is he's done exactly what we're going to do, which is upgraded them, and turned what was a $150 guitar into something that would probably be comparable playing wise and feel and sound to something well in the mid 1500 range or more. My 5150 that I got that one for, because I bought it as a what they call a open box. But if you know anything about the internet, you know that there are a lot of these sales that happen where it's a used guitar and an open box guitar, but it's really just something they need to move.
Yeah.
And so certain times of the year, especially at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, like now, they got to get stuff off the books to get new stuff into the place, and they got to sell products. So they'll sell things at a crazy price, like this $150 for a guitar that's got, otherwise it's a pretty cool guitar, even though we're changing almost everything on it.
Mad,
but that's what's fun. Yeah, Mad, before you leave.
Mad Hatter and Mr. Mick, you guys, your packages should be there Saturday.
Saturday? What? Say that again.
Their packages should be delivered this Saturday.
Oh, your packages that you're sending to them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Dane's not here. Dane's will be there Monday.
Cool. Right on. I have no promises that I can make because I keep promising people I'm sending packages, and I still don't have time. Might have time. Might have some time tomorrow. You know what I got to do? I got to just knock one out every day. I just got to knock one out every day, right? Instead of trying to plan a day where I can knock them all out, that's what I keep trying to do. I actually take everything out of here. I put them in the living room, dining room table, and I set all the boxes up of everything stuff that I need to package. And I'm going to do it. And then phone calls happen. This thing happens. That thing happens. Next thing I can't get to it. And then I got to put it all back in here again. And then, it starts over again. So that's what it's been like. I just got to do one at a time, right? One at a time. All right. That's the plan. One at a time. We'll get it done. Ron will probably get this guitar done in the next couple of weeks, ship it out to me, and then I will put the pinstriping on it. I already have some of it. I have the black. I just need to buy some white, and then I'll just pinstripe it like a 5150. Should I do it like a 5150?
I'd do a combo.
How do you mean combo? All right, people in the chat, do me a favor and in the comments section, tell us how we should stripe it. Should we stripe it like a 5150, or should we stripe it like the Kramer Ad guitar? Should we stripe it, like something else?
Or just come up with our
should we do
his own design?
Should we? Because then I'll do Machu Picchu's, not Machu Picchu. I mean, I'll do Peru's Nazca lines on it instead. Because that's what I want to do. I want to do a Nazca guitar where the stripes or Nazca lines stripes, and it's gonna have like the monkey on it and like the all that stuff. Anyway, that would be cool, right? I've never seen anyone do that yet. Yeah, pinstriping. So I'm going to use automotive pinstriping so it sticks on good, but that way if someone wants to really play this out or use it, and they don't want to have everyone go, oh, play Van Halen, and then he doesn't know or doesn't want to, he can take all the stripes off and play it out. Or she. That's right, Peggy.
Someone right here tonight may own this guitar.
It could be you, Peggy. Where's Peggy? Is she still here? It could be Janice Lala. It could be Holly. Holly, you can learn guitar, right? Anyway, all right. So, laters, you guys. Have a great rest of your week. It's Thursday night. That means tomorrow is what day? Friday. That's right. It's Frankenstein Friday tomorrow. So, be good or be good at it, as I always say. Don't forget that the secret of tone is in your mind, but the feel comes from your heart. Put it together with musical instruments and your friends and rock out. Play some music together. And yeah, you're going to do a show on Saturday, or when? Do you have like a regular show now on Mondays?
Mondays, and I'm going to go Thursdays before you go.
Cool. Right on. Right on. Dale at the end, of course. Oops, that's the wrong button. That's I didn't mean to shoot you, Dale. All right, you guys, take care. Oh, yeah.